Good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. All right, I'll take it. It's Saturday morning. Some of us were out late last night. I understand. Wow, here we are, day 2, Roots Camp 2013. We learned a lot yesterday, eh? Yeah, I know. It's going to take a little bit. All right, everyone stand up. There's a few things that we teach about speaking in front of a crowd, and we're going to practice those things right now to wake you all up. Number one thing when you're in front of a crowd, the thing that will make things absolutely easiest for you is if you smile. I need to see everybody's biggest smiles right now. So there's this little part in our lizard brain that says to us we're supposed to mirror the things that we see facially. We do it, it's not a choice we have in the matter, we just do it naturally. So when you smile, the person in front of you is smiling back. So when you're in front of a crowd, smile, and you're going to feel a lot easier because they're smiling back at you. Okay, number 2, what the hell do I do with my hands, right? No one knows what to do with their hands. So everyone, when you get in front of a crowd, normally walking down the street, you're not worried about what you're doing with your hands. But when all of a sudden you're in front of a crowd, you're freaked out, right? So hold the ball. Hold like a soccer ball. I'm going to come over here. Hold it about here, right? When you're making a point, sometimes you go over here, make a point. Because we freak out about our hands. They're like, if you have them in your hand, in your pockets, it doesn't look good. If you have them behind you, it's not good either. So have them here. You're talking. Just talk. Use your hands. If you want to make a bigger point, like right here, you're at soccer ball. Want to make a bigger point? Beach ball, right? It's a beach ball. You're holding a beach ball. Seriously, watch the president, watch the vice president. They all do it. It's amazing. So right here, beach ball. You want to make a really big point, which you should only really make maybe twice during a session while you're teaching it? Exercise ball, all right? Whoa, it's so important. But up here, we don't need it. That's a Vita. We don't need that. So up here maybe, that's really important. And back down, here, right? Practice. Go ahead. Out. Good. And then the final one, don't hurt anyone. We're a little more spread out today, so we're good. This is called the Big Bear for 2 minutes. Before every session you're teaching, take up as much physical space as you possibly can. So out. You can growl if you want to. I have a tendency to do that. So stretch out. Stretch 2 minutes. Before you have to be in front of a crowd, 2 minutes, just doing this. I'm not going to make you do it for 2 full minutes right now. And on the count of 3, let it down. 1, 2, 3. And don't you feel big? Right? You can all sit down now. Good. So that will make you feel like you own the room when you walk in. I was doing that earlier. You didn't see it because I was hiding, because it looks awkward. So do it in the bathroom if you want to, or I don't care, do it in front of everyone else. They'll think you're crazy, and then they will trust you. That's what happens in this country. So we are at Roots Camp, day 2. We have some incredible stuff to get onto today, but I just wanted to review a little bit about the schedule. After we're done here, you go to the wall, you put your session up. Who held a session yesterday? Who led a session yesterday? Not that I can see any of you. These lights are really bright, but I think there's tons of you, right? So you all led sessions. Great. Lead another one today. If there wasn't something on the schedule yesterday that you thought should get covered, cover it today. Do it yourself. Lead it. I actually, for the first time in Roots Camp history, am going to be on 2 sessions, the first and the second. The first one is about leading a life in the movement with a partner or a husband or a wife, and how to not kill each other doing it. And I'm doing that with the legendary Heather Booth and my husband Sean and Jess Morales. We confuse the two of them all the time, and it's horrible. They're sisters and they're brilliant. Angelica's working on the wall back there with my husband. She's awesome. But this is with her sister Jess and Ross. So that's happening then. And then following that, the second session, just personal plug, we're doing an Ask Roots Camp Anything session. So come join us for that, all in 143A. So write it down. Next, at lunchtime, we're going to have as you saw, a commercial here for last night, our friend Ben Wickler on his show, The Good Fight, here live in front of you. That's going to be aired, powered by MoveOn.org. And then there's a career fair from 12 to 3. Who's going to the career fair? Who needs a job? I don't. I like my job a lot. See, it's fun, right? I get to stand up and be an idiot in front of all of you. So, career fair, 12 to 3 across the street here, not across the street, across the hall, in the exhibitor hall. Those exhibitors that have been there already are going to have a little sign that says we're hiring. And there's going to be a whole lot of new organizations in there that are hiring that are just here for the career fair. Bring your resumes if you need a place to copy them. There's a place across the street from the library, right on, I think, across K. And it's a great place to get copies. Career fair is going to be crazy. There's going to be a gazillion people out here. Just be prepared. I want to talk to you a little bit about something else we mentioned yesterday. On your badges, it has your preferred gender pronouns. Some people don't quite get that or understand why we're doing that. We're trying to take a step forward in leading the way on some of these things, on making sure our transgender friends and family members are not feeling excluded. The reason that he, him, and his is on my badge is because it shouldn't just be our trans friends who have to tell you how they identify. This way, it makes sure that all of us are joining them and making it known who we are. So thank you for leading on that. Yes, thanks. And the same thing with the gender-neutral restrooms. I understand if people have issues with it, it's totally fine, but we're trying to lead the way and hope other conferences, other events, other offices take the lead as well and start making sure their workplaces and the places that we all gather are inclusive of everybody. Yeah, thanks. Tonight there is a party at Town Dance Boutique, generously sponsored by Catalyst. Yes, woo, there will be free booze. The first 300 people who show up will get a drink ticket, so please join us tonight. There are directions in your program. And I also have to announce that yesterday we did have some things, strangely enough, go missing when you put 2,000 people in the same space. Crap's going to get stolen here and there. One young woman actually had her wallet stolen, and within an hour of her realizing it was gone, the person had already spent several $100s at Macy's and BP. I know it was none of you, because it was BP. So just kidding, kind of. So watch your stuff. Keep a hold of your stuff. I know we're all very trustworthy and trusting people, but sometimes people can walk into this building and we don't necessarily know who everyone is who's here. So please hold on to your stuff. If you do lose something, in 140A we have a lost and found, so stop by, check in with us. Usually if we get a wallet or something we can identify you with, we'll look you up, we'll tweet at you, we'll Facebook you, we'll email you if we have your information. So please just hold on to your stuff. Now, without further ado, our Saturday morning keynote. As you all know, we are here on the anniversary of the shooting in Newtown, a horrific event in our country's history. And the day after that happened, our guest this morning started an organization called Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. She is a mom from Indianapolis. She has 5 kids, and she's here with us this morning. We're going to see a quick video from Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and then we're going to welcome to the stage Shannon Watts.
On December 14th, we'll have a moment of silence for Newtown. But with 26 more school shootings since that day, ask yourself, is silence what America needs right now?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming this morning. I'd like to say that since that video was made, there's actually been 28 school shootings in America, so 2 more just since we released it last week. My name is Shannon Watts. I'm not a politician. I haven't personally been affected by gun violence. And until a year ago today, on December 14th, 2012, I wasn't an activist of any kind. I was a stay-at-home mom of 5 children in a suburb of Indianapolis. But the tragic mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, completely changed the trajectory of my life. As news about what happened inside Sandy Hook Elementary unfolded, I was astounded, and then devastated, and then angry. I didn't know what I could do or how I could get involved in gun violence prevention, but I felt desperate to do something. And I knew that if I didn't act, I would feel culpable if there was ever another Newtown. So I went home, and I went online, and I looked for an organization like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. There were organizations to join, but they did not speak to me as a mother. And after 20 innocent 6-year-olds were massacred in the sanctity of their elementary school classroom, I was really only able to think about this as a mother. Finding nothing I wanted to join, I created a Facebook page for like-minded friends. Moms spend a lot of time on Facebook. 1 in 5 moms over the age of 35 have a Facebook page and visit it 5 times a day. I am one of those moms. So flash forward, and what happened in the next hours, days, and weeks was amazing. The power of social media and outraged moms turned my Facebook page into a grassroots movement. Moms from all over the country began volunteering their time and resources to build up Moms Demand Action from the ground up. Before I knew it, we were a national organization with chapters in all 50 states. Our movement began attracting significant attention from media and legislators. Federal, state, and local leaders began calling us and asking for our support and endorsement. From President Obama to governors to mayors, legislators wanted our moms and their children with them on stage when they were talking about guns. Moms, they told us, had been the missing voice in the debate over gun reform. But moms' voices weren't missing anymore, in part because we were making it so easy for them to be heard. We created online tools to help them email, call, and tweet their members of Congress. We involved our members in mom-focused campaigns that were creative and encouraged the involvement of their children. We call these craft campaigns. It started out with asking our mom members to write Moms Demand Action in chalk, take pictures, and email and tweet them to us and their members of Congress. We could not believe the amount of moms who participated. It turns out moms really do like to see pictures of themselves and their children on Facebook. But even though many of us aren't particularly crafty, myself included, these projects are the glue that hold our movement together. For Valentine's Day, our moms made Have a Heart Valentines for their members of Congress, and a team of us personally delivered thousands of them to their legislators on our members' behalf. For Mother's Day, we created a Mother's Bill of Rights, which we read at community events across the country. And in July, our moms participated in Independence Day parades and read from a Declaration of Independence from gun violence. We sponsored lemonade stands and held stroller jams across the country, jamming up state house halls with our diaper bags and other kid gear. We make sure these events and activities take place at least once a month to keep our moms engaged and to help bridge the intensity gap when the latest mass shooting or tragedy fades from the evening news. This mom-focused work, while fun, has a specific purpose. We're always working to enact legislative or cultural change through Congress, state legislatures, and American businesses. And we did have some major wins in 2013. At the federal level, our moms endorsed and voted in candidates with gun sense, like Senators Ed Markey and Cory Booker, Representative John Tierney. We pushed for and got a director of the ATF, the first bureau director in 7 years. And in August, Senator Reid promised our moms over a glass of lemonade that there would be another vote on background checks before the midterm elections. At the state level, we helped pass sweeping gun reform in legislation in Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, Maryland, New York. We had smaller victories in California and New Jersey. And we blocked bad legislation from passing in Missouri. Our moms poured in to help Governor-elect Terry McAuliffe in Virginia, paving the way for a governor to publicly and proudly support gun reform and still come out a winner. Looking forward to 2014, we are even more focused on building out our work in the states. We're hopeful we can push background checks through state legislatures in Minnesota, Washington, Oregon, New Hampshire, and other states. And we will fight for laws that hold adults accountable for safe storage of their firearms. Currently, only 15 states have such laws in place. We want to change the national language around so-called accidental shootings. There is no such thing as an accidental shooting involving a child who has procured an adult's gun. These shootings are criminal negligence, plain and simple, and they are shockingly common occurrences in America. But we're not just focused on gun laws. We also want to change America's gun culture, which is why we want American businesses like Starbucks to commit to keeping stores and restaurants gun-free. Last June, Starbucks announced they would no longer allow tobacco or electronic cigarettes within 25 feet of their buildings, despite state laws, even though for decades the company insisted on following state laws when it came to guns. When moms targeted Starbucks' store, we wanted to go gun-free. Pro-gun activists ramped up their efforts too. They began open carrying inside Starbucks, taking selfies while holding semi-automatic rifles. They held armed rallies in and around Starbucks. In Sioux Falls, more than 60 pro-gun activists showed up in a Starbucks armed with everything from handguns to AR-15s. Needless to say, customers were terrified. And then, last summer, open carry activists decided to show up at a Starbucks in Newtown, and Starbucks found itself in the crosshairs of the gun debate in America. Just 3 months after we started pressuring Starbucks, CEO Howard Schultz announced the company would change its gun policy. Guns are no longer welcome inside stores, and open carry rallies and appreciation days are no longer tolerated. Schultz finally came down on the side of his customers, including moms who, by the way, make 80% of the spending decisions for families in America. All of these wins took place in just 12 months. In just 1 year, what started out as a Facebook page put up the day after the tragic shooting in Newtown has become a national grassroots movement of more than 125,000 members and a chapter in every single state of the country. Why has our movement been so successful? Because as the events at Sandy Hook Elementary unfolded last year, I and the other mothers of America were given a choice. Act now to reduce gun violence in America, or sit by as senseless tragedies continue to occur in our communities. We chose to act. Working with other great organizations, we built a movement this year. And it's a movement that exists in the states. As Congress continues to be a gridlock, we are quietly building a groundswell that will soon be stronger than any gun lobby and will change the culture in this nation. Most of our moms don't live in the Beltway. They live in states like South Dakota, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Montana, and Texas. And one by one, they're talking to their neighbors about guns and telling stories about how this issue takes a personal toll on real people. And that is organizing, what so many of you in this room already know and have done so well. It's the backbone of this movement of hundreds of thousands of moms who have had enough and won't be silent anymore. Today, on the 1-year anniversary of the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary, moms across the country are gathering in their communities from coast to coast at more than 70 events in 40 states to ring bells in a moment of no more silence. Our events are honoring all victims of gun violence to show that American mothers will never be silent again about this issue. Please show that you'll never be silent again either. Right now, I'd like to take you back to where you were 1 year ago today. What were you doing and who were you thinking about when the news about Sandy Hook Elementary broke? Then take out your phones, use the hashtag 1 year ago and We Are Newtown, and tell your own story. For example, in the past year, I've heard stories of moms who said, 1 year ago, I was at work. I dropped everything and ran to pick up my kids at school because I was scared. We are Newtown. Or 1 year ago, I was so devastated by the tragedy that I stayed in bed the entire weekend. We are Newtown. Or 1 year ago, today, my child lost his innocence because he realized he wasn't even safe in his own school. We are Newtown. The murder of 26 innocent first graders and teachers was a wake-up call for mothers. we now realize how lax our gun policies and laws are. And our eyes are open to the national gun violence epidemic. 2013 was a watershed year for our movement because it was the year that mothers finally stood up and said enough. Now we're looking at 2014 to solidify our organization and grow it bigger and stronger because we want to go toe to toe with the American gun lobby for decades to come. Mothers have often been the catalyst of social change in our nation, encouraging and fighting for changes to our laws on suffrage, segregation, children's rights, drunk driving. I truly believe it is up to the mothers of America and organizers like you to pull our country back from the precipice and to demand a safer future for our children. Sandy Hook Elementary sounded an alarm in all of us, and that bell cannot be unrung. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Shannon. I think we are all moved to do the things that you ask of us, and I hope we can all commit to doing something as little as sending out a tweet today, and hopefully a lot more as we continue through our day and figure out the organizing tactics we're using for the year to come. Thank you again to Shannon, to Mayors Against Illegal Guns, and for Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America for joining us this morning. We're starting our first session in about 10 minutes. The wall is at the end of the hall if you want to submit something. Thanks again for joining us this morning, and we'll see you again today at lunch for the Good Fight, live here on stage, and at the end of the day for the Most Valuable Organizing Awards happening right here on stage. Thanks very much.